All right, what's happening, people? Thursday, and it is time for The Drop. We're at Cactus Music World Headquarters. This guy needs no at this point. You don't need introduction, do you?
I mean,
Quinn Bishop. We'll do it one more time for season 3, just to help everybody out.
Season three. Everybody.
Man, I can't wait. I'm excited about this list.
Yeah, we got a great list. We got a little bit of everything, and we're gonna end up talking Christmas music at the end. So it's gonna be cool.
Love it.
I'd like to introduce our house band for the month of December. Why, it's the Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
That is awesome.
The most giant stand-up you've ever seen, and yes, it is a stand-up, and it's a photo op for you fans at home.
I love it.
Yeah Yeah Yeahs fans, we want to come to the store. You can take a picture with the Yeah Yeah Yeahs rocking on the Cactus stage.
Can I have it when you're done with it?
No.
Okay.
This thing will be. People ask about stand-ups, and the word I use is perpetuity.
Yeah.
Like.
Where would I put it?
This will be in the store in perpetuity.
Yeah,
like
it's a good one.
You
guys have had some good ones.
Yeah, we've got some.
We've had some really good ones.
People want the Daft Punk one.
That one's
week,
good.
But
yep.
there's only 5 stores in the country that have this giant, ridiculous stand-up, and we're so
I'm
happy
going to take
have
my
it.
picture next to
Happy
it.
to have it, and it's this record's going to come in on a bunch of revisit. This is going to be on a bunch of top 10 lists for the year, top 5 lists,
It's
whatever
amazing.
you got going. Cool It Down by the AAS. It is one of the best records of the year. So great to have them back making records, and inanimate on the Cactus stage as well.
This is real. What was it? 8 years between?
Yeah,
like
long
the last
time,
one?
long time, man. And they
But there's
just
good
dropped
stuff
right
on
back
it,
with
so-
a great record. And we were just talking about the film,
Mhm.
the Meet Me in the Bathroom
Great documentary.
film, and if you love that band, you will like them even more after seeing that.
I like the story that she tells how they even got together.
Yeah, it's great.
Because it was one of those things that could have very easily not happened.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I mean,
thank God they did, right?
couples and rock bands. That's a great story.
Right.
How that works out.
Sometimes it does. Opaque yellow, by the way. colored
Opaque yellow,
vinyl.
people
always want to
Indie
know.
store exclusive.
People always want to know.
And a quick mention, we had this guy in the store on Tuesday.
How did that go?
Dermot Kennedy. It was awesome. This guy's monstrous in Ireland, has the #1 record in the UK, and people are fighting about him right here. But the 300 or so fans that were here were just absolutely over the moon to meet him. He was a super cool guy, and
Autograph.
we're just letting you know. So we have signed editions because there were so many people. We can only announce this 3 days in advance of his personal appearance. But we had him sign a lot of remainder stock. So if you're out there and you love Dermot Kennedy, there's a lot of you. We have autographed copies for you.
I love it.
How about that? All right, let's talk about one of my favorite words that we use on this show. That Embossed is one. Embossed one. Archival is another one. And archival is not a reissue. Archival is recordings that were never released that are
Become available
from back in the day that are back available again. And this is a big one. This was got a lot of news coverage on this. And this is Barbra Streisand live at the Bonsoir. And this was recorded in Greenwich Village in November of 1962. And
check that.
She really full personality. Everything comes through in this recording. I mean, she's funny, engaging. There's show tunes. It's just it really reminds you like why she holy cow, she's like the entertainer
why she
on
was
such a massive
the
scale,
mega star
and her voice is terrific, because now we all know she's an actor, director, sometimes makes records and at this point. But I mean, there was a time every Christmas there was a new Barbra Streisand record. It was always on top of the charts. And so this, here's a great factoid about her. Irregardless, male or female, she's the only artist to have a #1 album in every decade since the 60s.
Wow.
Yeah, that's saying something.
That's definitely saying something. And I'll tell you what's also saying something is I usually wait to the first of the year to get my new glasses. It's only a couple of weeks away. I'm going to have to rush that because
looking at CDs
because I'm pretty sure I thought for one second that I read 24 magical songs that defined her ashtray. That's artistry.
Artistry.
Defined her artistry, not her ashtray.
So check it out. And I encourage people that aren't even, fans or whatever, check it out, because it is like a moment in time, which is what you want from a live record.
Yeah, great performance from a great artist.
And now for something completely different.
Very different.
Fish have a 5-disc.
Oh
this is The Gorge, 1998. 5 CD. It's only LPs will come at some point. It's a 5 CD box set. And, they have had a very popular archival reissue program. This is the first one, I'm guessing, because of the pandemic. This is the first one they've released since 2017.
Jeez.
And man, their fans are just really waiting on it. You know, it's all about, with the jam band stuff, it's all about live performance, and you know, they don't disappoint in that regard. I think they're one of those groups, you're either in it or you're out of it.
Or you're not. Yeah.
And not so popular, not as big in Texas. They rarely, but I think when the bass player played in Houston, up until they played, I think, ACL, that was the only time any Fish-related band member had even played in Texas.
Isn't that crazy?
Is it Mike Gordon? I believe.
Don't know.
Anyways, he played at Numbers, and that was the first time that anybody from the band had even played in Texas. That's telling you they're making their money elsewhere.
Yeah, this is not their
no. Jam band culture, and jam band culture not really thriving in Texas goes all the way back to the fact that the Grateful Dead did not really play in Texas in the late 60s and early 70s, because the Attorney General pretty much let it be known, you come to Texas, we're going to bust you.
That's right.
So unless you have that kind of foundation, which is the Grateful Dead of jam band music,
keeping with that long history of Texas Attorney Generals screwing it up for the rest of us, right? At least they're consistent.
I can neither confirm
At
nor
least
deny.
they're consistent.
Okay, next up, this is cool. This is an indie story. We're going into indie store exclusive territory. This is Marcus King, who we've talked about on the drop before.
God.
His new album, Youngblood, produced by
This
Dan
dude.
Auerbach. Incredible guitar player.
This dude.
And the reason I'm showing you this, indie record stores for Christmas got a few copies that have autographed inserts. This is him walking down the streets in Nashville. So if you're a fan,
If you don't know about this guy,
check him out.
do yourself
If you're a
a
guitar
favor.
player,
Do
he's
yourself
really
a favor, because I think ever since Stevie Ray Vaughan, there's been a million people doing that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have a unique voice, but this guy, I think, just as a soloist, has a very, very unique style, very unique voice, and I think it's going to be when when he gets up there to be like Clapton's age or something, it's going to be one of those guys, I think, that's going to have, you can hear a few notes and you'll know it's him.
And Ruben's not the first person I've heard say this. There's people really are betting on this guy to be the next big voice in guitar music. One more indie store exclusive, and I just like to talk about this band because I think they're so cool and different. This was part of the 10 Bands One Cause limited pink vinyl, benefiting cancer research and assistance. This is Bad Bad Not Good. If you're not familiar with them, I mean, technically they're a jazz
I don't know anything about
collective, but it's neo soul. It's really, they're one of those groups. When someone asks me, hey, where do we file this? I'm like, I don't know. It's technically jazz, but man, it's hip hop. So they always work with, collaborate with interesting artists. But man, their records are fun and cool. This is their fourth album, and urge you to check them out. But anyways, you can only get that at indie stores, and it is on pink vinyl, and you can support a great cause while you're picking up a record. I don't think this has been available in a regular black vinyl edition in some time.
Very cool.
Okay, and now we're going to talk back on vinyl.
Let's do it.
Because as everybody knows, I mean, who is not fatigued from hearing the words supply chain and manufacturing problems?
Right. Supply chain issues.
And the music industry, in respect to the manufacture of vinyl records, we were already having issues prior to that.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about three essential records that just have not been available, just because they've got to press new releases. It's hard to go back and press catalog. Hard to believe this one is the first time it's been available in a couple years. Nirvana In Utero, the third and final studio record, essential album from this band. In the racks again. And you know what I must say, not to disparage what's happening out there, but from a production standpoint, everybody in the manufacturing business thought that everything would keep getting smaller. I think they discarded the original album art for this, because if you look at it, it looks like it's scanned, right?
It does.
Yeah, it looks like
that's weird.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
I'm sure that it's one of those things where the original album art is somewhere. Maybe that they call that an asset. Maybe they couldn't find it, but anyway, but it's great to have it.
The
again.
music is here. That's the important part.
Yeah, and I think you can buy with confidence, because you know that those guys are not, Grohl and Co. are not going to let anything substandard
Exactly.
which could have been driven at not being available for a while. Okay, Queens of the Stone Age, Villains.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't make a note of the other record that's in the title escapes me, but these are being reissued at once with indie store exclusive colored vinyl.
Great artwork.
Classic.
Such a good album.
And really a band, and it includes a limited edition poster as well. I don't know how you feel about it, but I think we probably have a lot of friends. I mean, we follow music probably more than some people, but it seems like for older hard rock, classic rock fans, they were the band, 10, 15 years ago, everybody was like, oh my God, I love these guys.
Yeah.
They really tapped into something.
Oh, 100%.
That was not being done.
100%.
And keeping it rolling. So it's good to have that one back as well.
Yeah, good record.
More on this is a 2017 record, so more of a modern record, but requests for this record all the time. This guy's like wildly popular. I don't know what your thoughts on him, but Mac DeMarco, This Old Dog. This is one of his biggest records. Stores haven't had this in 18 months, or longer. It's good to have it back. I just saw a young man walking around with it right now, so people look to snatch it up.
He's super popular. I've heard, I've heard a couple of, for some reason, and maybe this is completely, I shouldn't lump him in, but I kind of feel the same way I feel about Kurt Weill, that with Mac, it's like, I don't know, man. This song, I don't know what it is. They just don't resonate with me. They sound kind of like to me, and I could be probably really wrong. I just feel like they're in this kind of category of music that I don't.
It's kind of slacker music.
Exactly.
I mean, I kind of think of Mac DeMarco. He's kind of like this. He's tapped into like this chill vibe. Like it's like he's the Jimmy Buffett of indie rock or something like that.
I don't know.
I mean, let the hate begin.
Well, what I will say is that I'm very, very happy that he exists and is doing well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kooky thing.
Because it helps all the music industry in one way or another.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't knock it.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to talk about a specific period. Frank Zappa's got some reissues that are coming out this week. And these are two records that are kind of joined, forever joined, Waka Jawaka and the Grand Wazoo. And great album covers. And Waka Jawaka is his fourth solo album without the Mothers, and he got the title by I love this. He was using he needed a title for his album. He used a Ouija board to come up with the name of the perfect, right? And these are known as being his really electric jazz influenced and almost kind of big bandy sounding records.
Very
I think people didn't know what to make of
compositions.
Always ambitious.
Yeah, there's only two songs on the first side, so there you go.
There you go. And so you get to this kind of sets the template there, and then he continues. He reunites with the Mothers on the Grand Wazoo, and again, both 1972 records. And he finished this record after he was or made this record, I guess, contemplating his next move when he was recovering from I didn't know this, but he got attacked by a fan in London and was sidelined for a while. And so anyway, in these have it. So the individual LPs have been reissued, but then also there's a Waka Wazoo 5-disc compilation.
There's only one song on side one of this one.
And this is a 5-disc, including 1 disc of Blu-ray audio of outtake sessions, demos, or whatever from those records. And there's a lot of people that really, really like this particular period of Frank Zappa. So they will obviously be very excited about all the outtakes and added music. I mean,
there's a lot of stuff on
He
there.
is one of those guys. I mean, he's just got more albums than I have blood cells. So it's hard.
Absolutely.
It's hard to imagine that people have enough and need more.
Well, this is interesting. Also includes unreleased George Duke demos.
Yeah. So George Duke, I mean, Zappa turned a bunch of great musicians loose on the world. George Duke being one of them.
Did not know that.
Big career after that.
Did not know that.
And kind of keeping it, we've been in rock and we're making that turn towards jazz. And we're going to talk about, there's 3 reissues that just hit the racks that prompted me to kind of talk about it. We're talking about a subgenre of jazz called spiritual jazz. And for those that don't know, In the late 60s, this was really John Coltrane and some of the other artists we're going to talk about here. There was this kind of collectiveness of trying to bring transcendence and spirituality to the music. And it was a lot of avant-garde, but yet it's which makes you think it's like difficult to listen to, and at times, but really, avant-garde and modal jazz. But it always, the thing I like about it takes you somewhere. Like it's always, and for those that have discovered Kamasi Washington, that he's really kind of the modern touchstone for this. So let's talk about 3 records here.
Stuff.
This is Pharoah Sanders, Karma. If that doesn't look like a spiritual jazz record, I don't know what does. This was his most critically acclaimed and most popular album, and essential. All Music gives it 5 stars. This is a great way to, if you're looking to figure out what you like. Jazz is all about just kind of jumping in there and scratching around and seeing what moves you. This is a great jump off point if you think you're even curious about the movement. This is a terrific record.
Okay, and time for some vinyl record nerdiness. Would you like to explain the tip-on gatefold sleeves printed on high-grade board?
Yeah. So in much like how books have first editions.
Yeah.
This replicates what would be the first edition, the production of the time, where it's like a heavy cardboard stock,
right? And
then they glue what they call a slick, a piece of paper, to the outside.
Oh,
of the board,
yeah, okay.
And
so that's what that is.
cover.
Okay, yeah,
yes.
I had albums like that.
Yes, and also this is an audiophile pressing. It's pressed at a better pressing plant than later. It will probably come out as a regular edition, but they're really trying to think of it as like a hardback book soft cover type scenario. So you can choose. Ultimately, you can choose one or the other.
This would be the hardback.
That would be the hardback.
Got it.
Okay, next up is a drummer, fantastic drummer that actually played with Pharoah Sanders. This is Roy Brooks. This is his record, The Beat. And the thing that's interesting about The Beat, again, I think this is 1968. He, Detroit guy, played on a ton of records. This was on Berry Gordy's jazz label, which he started as an offshoot of Motown, which they didn't release a whole lot of records, but they released a record by Roy Brooks. He famously played with Pharoah Sanders, and on one of the great records of the 20th century, Horace Silver's Song for My Father, which that's looking for an essential jazz record. But this guy went on, this is early record by him. He went on to make one of the most important spiritual jazz records ever. Of course, the name escapes me.
That's that. Right don't worry about it.
So and it even represses. So Ethnic Expressions. That's the name of the record. And that record sells for that. There's one listed right now on Discogs for $3,000.
Jeez.
So hard to. It gets reissued from time to time, but again, this is such a niche thing, so that's why it's fun to talk about it.
Manufactured at Third Man Pressing in Detroit.
Yeah, Universal uses Third Man a lot.
There you go.
And keeping it Detroit. Okay, last in our spiritual jazz series, this is Alice Coltrane's, and I do not know how to say this, Patah the El Daoud.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And this is a Third Man production as well. So Alice Coltrane, her late husband was John Coltrane, and this is another record from the late 60s. And the thing that's kooky about this record, this is revered as like one of her greats. And the way they recorded this record, you have Joe Henderson playing sax in one ear, and you have and for Pharoah Sanders playing in the other ear. So it's really, and it's the first record that she did that uses horns. It's like she was at the time, one of the only really, really important female jazz artists. And it's very cool. And the cover, look how cool the cover is.
So was it like left, right? And they were just playing, were they playing the same thing?
No. They're playing, they're
improvising,
doing their own thing. There's a lot of improvised, but they also, jazz guys have such a great way of improvising and then dialing it in
and then get back to the song.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's incredible.
Really an
super
overlooked
cool
gem, and that Jazz Is website called that one of the 5 most important jazz records of that year. Okay, are you feeling the spirit?
Super spiritual right now. Yeah.
All right,
filled with it.
Like that segue from spiritual jazz
into
let's talk about Christmas spirit. Big record this year. Everybody gets to make a Christmas record.
I think so, yeah.
Everybody makes a Christmas record. And it was Alicia Keys' turn. And she is Santa Baby, such a great singer, such a great instrumentalist, and this is.
I'm guessing she already has Christmas albums, though. She's probably already.
I think this is the first one.
Because it would seem of modern artists, or artists of the last 30 years, or however long we've had Miss Alicia Keys with us now.
If not, she was overdue.
She was overdue.
I think she's on tracks. Like she.
Sure. Oh, absolutely, 100%. I'd be
her first
stunned
album.
if there isn't at least one Christmas song in her catalog.
Kooky thing about Christmas records is most artists have to record them in June or July.
Yeah,
to release. They got to find that spirit to have it in the pipeline. And
good stuff on here.
Yeah, the Ave Maria. I mean, that's a big tune.
It's classic.
Yeah, big tune for her to sing. I mean, the whole thing with if you make a Christmas record, you can tour on that every holiday.
Yes.
If you want to, and just do repertoire associated with that.
Ask Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. This next one is one of my all-time favorite Christmas records. Various artists' Christmas records are a little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
This one is on my turntable right now.
Okay. All right.
This is Soul Christmas from Stax and Atlantic Records.
Nice.
And man, I mean, look at the names on this sucker.
Clarence Carter, King Curtis, Otis Redding, Joe Tex. I always like to see Joe Tex mentioned somewhere. Booker T and the MG, Solomon Burke. Man.
Yeah, and
That's
the
pretty
cool thing
impressive.
about this like assembles singles from all the Christmas singles from all these artists. So like if you're listening to the 24-hour Christmas programming on the radio, you're going to hear a couple. You might not hear you might not hear "Backdoor Santa" by Clarence Carter.
But they might keep that one out of there.
But you'll know a lot of these and hear a lot. This is such a great collection. I love it. Look forward to listening to that every year.
Yeah, 2 Otis Redding songs.
2. You can't just have one.
Come on, man.
And okay, from the maybe obvious to the not so obvious.
Not so obvious.
Scott Weiland, The Most Wonderful Time of the Year. His Christmas record available on vinyl for the very first time. On green vinyl, of course, is limited edition of 3,000. And this was, I remember when this came out, and people were like, huh?
I did not know this existed.
Yep. It exists once again. So if you need your and man, he sings really well on it. You think it's gonna be like, what is this gonna be like, some kind of grungy?
Right.
Seattle
It's
Christmas?
not. No.
No. He's playing it straight, and it's a great record. Of course, everybody knew that guy could sing pretty well. The great Elton John, he released a 70s Christmas single called Step Into Christmas, and they've reissued that on a 10-inch with some other Christmas themed songs which weren't originally on the 7-inch. So you get 5 tracks, including Calling It Christmas with Joss Tone. This is an international release. I can't remember what it's limited to. I guess they're all made in Germany, but and that is the artwork from the original British 7-inch, which we didn't have over here. So limited edition red vinyl. Elton fans always come up for his
Good night.
limited stuff. Yeah.
So on a 10-inch.
A 10-inch, and record fans really, what do you do with them? Like, you can't, they don't really fit in the shelves.
Yeah.
Like, it'll cause me like not to buy a record if it's a 10-inch.
Okay.
Like, I'll be
All
excited
right.
about something, like, I'm not buying that. You can have a special section
It's
in
the
your house with
wrong
10 inches.
size.
And the funny thing is, people going, I had a conversation with an artist the other day who was looking to make, he's like, I'm just doing an EP, but I'm thinking about doing a 10-inch. And like,
Don't do that.
the cost is like 30% more to make one of those than just making it. Just make a
Which is
12-inch
less.
LP. Yeah, crazy.
It's more for less vinyl.
Yeah, it's a custom piece. Okay, this record came out last year, but they've expanded it for this year, and I'm glad they did. This is I Dream of Christmas, the deluxe edition from Nora Jones. Look at her up there, grabbing
Holy
the
smokes.
star. And this has a bunch of
a lot of music on here.
It's packaged with a lot of live stuff. That I guess the thing is, when you do put out a Christmas record, you're going to hit for the cycle and be on every network and every morning show and whatever. So I think this pulls in some of the live broadcast stuff on there as well. 24 tracks.
I will forever, if I hear the name Nora Jones or see a picture of her or read her name or see anything, I'm going to think of COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because she was the first big artist that I recognized or noticed was just sitting at home playing songs and uploading them to YouTube. And like, she came out of the gate, like there was a video. I mean, she was doing a couple a week at one point, I think. And I was like, is this Nora Jones? And it's like her iPhone and her sitting at a little upright piano.
Funny.
And
Well,
it was
she's
amazing.
always kept busy. You know,
It's
she's got like
amazing.
she even
Yeah,
has
she
like
recorded 92 Christmas songs. Of course. That is prolific, my friend.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about Joey Garrett, the Chronicle.
Yeah, I know Joey
You know
very
Joe?
well.
Okay, so
I know
Joe
Joey
is a
very.
super fan.
Yes, he is.
And so we didn't.
We should call him right
We
now.
should call
Hey, you
him
know
right
what we're
now.
talking about?
So there's a new Debbie Gibson Christmas album. This is Winterlicious. Look how
Keep
cool
going.
she looks. Are you actually calling him?
No, I'm not going to call
Oh, that would be great. First Christmas album from her that I know of. Debbie's cool, man. She's still
Debbie is cool.
Still doing it. She did a record
Does
store
this
day
work?
a little too well.
Too much. Yeah. Anyway, please continue.
So, always stayed busy. Kept really transcends the whole teen star thing, and so she had a record store day piece that people were like flipping out over, and it was kind of a disconnect for me.
There's a lot of nostalgia
For
kind
sure.
of with
And
her.
Electric
because,
Youth, man.
Yeah, because yes.
Remember she had a cologne?
No.
Like she did. She had electric.
Well, Burger King
cologne.
put out a cologne, so I mean that's not,
Is that right?
Yeah, Burger King. Yeah.
Wow.
One
all
Christmas,
right.
Burger King put out a cologne. A friend of mine bought one, ordered one.
What does it smell like?
Oh God, I can't remember what they said. It smells like. It smells like.
Exactly what you think it smells like.
Yes. Yes, but Burger King did do a cologne.
Hoo-ha. Okay. Okay. Hey, this is one of my favorite Texas artists and great record for the year. This is Cat Edmondson's A Holiday Swingin'.
I don't know, Cat.
Cat was born in Houston, but really became was a club performer in Austin forever. And man, she has such a cool voice. It is very much I would describe her as a jazz singer.
Okay.
But she calls it vintage pop, which I think is appropriate. But and she's also a great songwriter. You know, a lot of people that operate in that realm are not really writers or interpreters, but she's a great songwriter. And she really, I think what gave her a bump was when, Lyle Lovett took her on tour, and she's toured with a bunch of big artists since then. But again, it's that jazz pop thing. It kind of defies,
right?
But man, she has such a great voice, super great, and this record's phenomenal. A enthusiastic recommendation from me. Check out Cat Edmonds.
There you go.
All right, let's end with the Big Kahuna.
The Big Kahuna, the
Big
granddaddy
Kahuna.
of all, the Big Jefe.
Everybody knows this, and every year it comes out on a different colored vinyl. Last year it was peppermint vinyl. This year we have snowstorm vinyl.
Wow.
For the Vince Guaraldi, Charlie Brown Christmas. I mean, what can you say about this? Essential. You hear the first
How many
three
copies
notes.
has this thing sold?
I have no idea.
That'd be fun to look it up and just figure out how. Right?
And tell me, if you hear the
Every generation.
first three notes, that first three piano notes, it's Christmas, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just grabs you.
Yeah, for the or Christmas, the Christmas time. That's just those three notes. It's just that little. It's just that little. I don't know, arpeggio, triad, whatever.
And so awesome. And again, Charles Schultz, the producers of the network, tried to talk him out of using jazz music in the program.
I'm glad you said that, because even as a kid, being a little kid and watching it, and at that point they were already reruns.
Sure.
By the time I was even aware of them, and I'm old. It didn't sound like anything else.
It didn't sound like anything else. I know, me too. It's like we don't have. I mean, my parents had a lot of records. We don't have anything that sounds like this.
Yes.
So I so associated
it was so fantastic
with the holiday. Hear that music. That's it.
Man. This is incredible.
And then, did you ever have this moment when you finally saw what Vince Guaraldi looked like, and you went, "Whoa"?
No, I still don't know what Vince Guaraldi looks like.
He has this monster mustache.
Oh, maybe I have seen it.
Oh, yeah, he did.
It's like kind of like Salvador Dali or something. Like, all right, go get it. Stand by. Wing it. Stretch. Stretch. Keep the show going. All right, so here's the deal. Quinn is looking for a picture of Vince Guaraldi, and that's who we're talking about. And his music, his trio, is the soundtrack to Charlie Brown, basically. I had a live performance.
Look at that swinging dude.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's a stash.
Yes.
sash, like
Very
monster
Skunk
comb over
Baxter.
it.
Very Jeff Skunk
No
Baxter.
doubt, no doubt.
Wow, that's
No doubt.
nuts. All right, so let's wrap it up. What are we doing for the kiddos next week? What kind of like entertainment are we bringing them?
I think we're gonna talk about some of our maybe our
Favorites,
favorites, yeah.
records over the last two segments of the year. I think we're going to talk about some of our favorite records of the year. We're going to talk about, are we going to do all time or no? We're going to do some all time.
It is not yet been decided.
It has not been
It's
decided. You're just
still-
going to have to
we're gonna
dial
figure
in
it
to
out.
see it. But next week we're coming
No
back
spoilers.
at noon, and tons of cool. If you're having trouble finding something for Christmas for people like me, always lots of cool stuff. You got a bunch of new stuff in the store. You guys are
we're
loaded.
bursting at the, we're
Loaded. If you are in the Houston area, do yourself a favor, hop in the car, come on down to Cactus Music World headquarters, pick something out for your friends, take a picture with the yeah, you know, I mean, or Quinn, you know, it'd be, if I'm here, you know, I'll take a picture with you. All right. We get it all.
We got
it all. We're out of here. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.